Cool. So in the last video, I was talking about this, and I said I might put some photos in there, but I figured I'd just make a quick little video about what we did with this. So again, super cool casters. I'm gonna put a link, or not. I'll probably put the link, but I'll definitely put a screenshot of where I got the casters off of Amazon. So if you're interested, on this, the cart was plans that I bought off of Etsy, of all places. It's pretty much, the plans are everything except for these posts and this right here. The posts I put on so that when I get additional dies, I can hang the dies on the sides, on either side. I also built it up because the working height was not what I wanted. So this is like, I believe this is 2-inch quarter wall dom. I just cut a chunk to the height that I wanted it at so that I could have a better working area. But aside from that, the cart plans were awesome. A friend of mine, I'll show you a couple of photos of them getting cut on his plasma table. They came out perfect. Everything, when it came off the plasma table, everything locked together like a puzzle. We just welded her up and everything was good with that. I did add an additional post for this. This is to help me with level on my tubes when I'm doing them, so they don't twist and I don't get like a banana. But aside from that, the cart, I've gone over the cart, gone over the casters. Swag Offroad, this is their machined ram mount. I did the machined ram mount because A, it looks nicer. B, it has a better bend radius. So this is actually lined up with this better. You get a longer stroke on your bend. The forged is cheaper, but when I was looking into it, it's really not cheaper. And the reason why is it doesn't come with the return spring. I'll turn this around. It doesn't come with the return spring, so you have to buy this separate. So by the time you buy the forged one, that's I think it's like $60 cheaper. But I'll show screenshots of all this stuff. The forged is a little bit cheaper, but by the time you buy the return spring, you're winding up paying the same amount. Plus, you get the better bend radius and the longer stroke with the machine. So I would highly recommend going with the machined rather than their forged thing. This is obviously a Harbor Freight ram. Worked out perfect. I've done one project with this. We'll kind of go over that at the end. But this worked out perfect. Air over hydraulic. This cart is made so that you can have an air pump on. That's why it's got this foot on the bottom. But I just run it off the compressor and it runs just fine. Next thing, this is a Woodward Fab bender. And a lot of people like the JD Square. I've used JD Square too. It's good stuff, but the lead time was 8 to 10 weeks. And if anybody knows me, I don't have patience for that. So I bought the Woodward Fab off of Summit. Summit for us, because we're the proximity to the local warehouse for Summit. We're in Central California and Summit's right over in Sparks, Nevada. Typically, I get a day turnaround on my shipping, which I did. This came a day after I ordered it, or I think I actually ordered it on a Friday and it got here Monday. I got the Woodward Fab bender, and obviously I got the die. The die is a 1.75 inch because that's mostly what I use. But I will be getting a 1 inch, probably 1.5 inches, and a 2 inch for some of the other projects that we got coming up. The last thing on here is the Swag angle finder. It's a little bit funky on Woodward Fab, but this is where Swag Offroad certainly shined. They didn't have it offered for a Woodward Fab. They do have it for the JD Square. They do have it for some of the other ones, but they didn't have it listed for the Woodward Fab. So I shot them an email and asked them what was going on, and they said that Woodward Fab has 2 different die pins, and because they don't know what size die pin you need, they don't offer it. They told me that I may need to, if I did buy it, to buy, I believe it was a JD Square one that I had to buy, but they warned me that I may have to turn down the pin to make it fit, and I did. Fortunately, my neighbor's got a lathe, and he was able to turn it down for me just no problem. And then this thing is a little bit involved. You got to buy the angle finder separately. It comes with all the other stuff, but the actual angle finder, they used to list that you could buy the angle finder from Harbor Freight, but they don't no longer sell it. So I got it off of Amazon. I'll show a screenshot of the one that I bought off of Amazon. It gets a little bit involved because this thing is like 24 inches long. You wind up having to cut it down in certain places, and you have to undo the wiring, and then you have to redo the wiring down through this, and it's a little complicated. They do have a video that shows a really good instructional on how to do it. If you are going to go with this, I would highly recommend watching that video first to just make sure that it's something that you're not going to mind doing. But the cool thing about this and this is it makes repeatable bends super easy. So it's a lot easier to do repeatable bends when you're messing with this. This is a lot more accurate than the bend dial that the bender comes with. You could be off like up to a degree or two just by looking at it from a different angle. I did go ahead and put this on there just in case this like has, you know, like the batteries run out or something like that. But I would highly recommend, if you want to do repeatable bends, I would really recommend doing this, and then this makes everything so much more precise. And it also makes it so everything is so much easier to store, because if you're not using this ram, you're having to bolt the stand to the ground, because when you're pulling on it, you have to have it where it doesn't move. So by having it on a cart, you have to have something like this, or you're never going to be able to make a bend. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Like I said, it worked on the first project really well. We're getting ready to do some more projects, but we're really happy with this. The first project that we did, I'll post some pictures. We did a new rear tire swing out for the truck. The old swing out was when I'd come off of a shelf. There was a couple times where I hit the gas can carrier, and a couple times I hit the tire. So we moved everything up, and we kind of did like when you see what it looks like, it's kind of a stolen design off of Jeeps, but it moves the tire way closer to the truck. It makes it so if I'm coming off of a shelf with the departure angle, I don't hit anything. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully I answered, if anybody had any questions on that, hopefully I answered all the questions. If I didn't, shoot us a comment or whatever. You got to bear with us. This is all new to us. I'm not the type that normally talks into the camera. I'm not the type that normally talks much at all. Typically when I'm out in this garage, I'm out by myself, just music blasting and just putting my head down and working. So I'm trying to do some more content. I want to do some content on some of these projects that we're doing, just to give people ideas and all that kind of stuff. But it's a work in progress. We're working on some stuff behind the scenes to make things maybe a little bit higher production value, I guess. But I'll just work on being enunciative and letting you know what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it. And I appreciate you guys watching.